Hey guys, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com, and I'm going to tell you a few of the bigger myths, damn braces, about living in Costa Rica. Now, this video is for people that are thinking about moving here or living here, and you know they get a lot of their information from the internet, and there's just a lot of things down there, or a lot of things on the internet. You're like, man, is that true? Is it not true? I'm not sure. You know, so I cherry picked a few of the bigger ones. I'm not saying there's not more. I'm just saying these are the bigger ones. Number one is, do you need to know Spanish to move or live in Costa Rica? The answer is no, you do not. I'm a prime example. Obviously, I get a lot of shit for my Spanish skills, but I've been living down here for 14 years. Now, would it be better if you knew Spanish? Do I have to answer that? But that's not really the question. The question is, could you live here and can you move down here without knowing Spanish? And the answer is yes, no matter how mad you want to get at me for saying that. Now, especially with the onset of smartphones, the translators are getting much better. Playing charades, you know, which is kind of fun with the locals. Your Tico friends that know English and Spanish. It's not really a problem unless maybe you're talking to a lawyer or something, and that's when you would use a friend or something. But you could definitely live down here without knowing any words of Spanish. But of course, you're going to start picking up on Spanish when you get here anyway, whether you want to or not. But you do not need to know Spanish. All right, number two, this one probably pisses me off the most. I gave up on telling people this because I just got so much pushback on this. And they're all wrong, and I'm actually right on this. And just so before I start, I will debate anybody on this topic, anybody. I don't care if you're a lawyer, an immigration lawyer here, a Tico that's lived here for 1,000 years. I don't care who you are. And it's about residency. You can live down here and be a perpetual tourist. What is a perpetual tourist? Somebody that leaves every 3 months and gets their passport stamped every 90 days. You leave, you go to Nicaragua, you come back, you get stamped, you can stay for another 90 days. I've lived down here 12 years before I started my residency process this way. All my friends around here still do that. 4 years, 10 years. I don't care what people are telling you. A lot of times it's a lot of curmudgeon-y Facebook forum people that live here and try to quote law and stuff. The bottom line is, you will call it a loophole. You can be pissed at me for telling people that loophole. Whatever you want to do, you can live down here without just rushing into your residency. That residency stuff, or that where they say, don't get caught at the border. Oh my God, you could be shipped back to the United States. That's propaganda, man. That's propaganda from the people that are trying to sell you their, help you get your immigration, your residency. That's what that is. It's scare tactics. Why would you get your residency before you even come down here? That's what people are doing now, because they're scared because of what people are trying to tell them. Oh, you got to get it. No, you don't. Don't get your residency. Come down here for a while. Check the place out. You may not like it. Why would you spend, $2,000 on residency that you're not going to use if you're only down here a year? You can do perpetual tourism, all right? They haven't, regardless. I'm not saying it may not change in the future. It could, but it hasn't. They've been saying this shit for ever since I've been here. So, bottom line is, you can leave every 3 months. You just need your proper paperwork coming back, which basically means you need an airline or bus ticket saying that you will be leaving Costa Rica within 90 days. That's basically it. And guess what, guys? Even if they get mad that you're doing it and they put 30 days, you can still stay away for 90 days. They don't do anything, all right? I don't know what to say, but I did give up on this one because I just got people trying to argue with me that they might know the law, but I live it. I live this. Okay, so that's, okay, sorry about beating that dead horse. I get a little upset with that one. Number three is because it's cheaper here. You could live your life cheaper here. You could take your life that you're living wherever it is and come over here and replicate it in Costa Rica for cheaper. That's actually not true at all. Matter of fact, it might even cost you more because of the things that cost more here. Now, obviously, there's things that cost less here, but I'm just saying, if you think you're going to come down here and replicate your life, and because this is, I don't know, a lot of people think of Mexico for some reason. They think 50-cent beers back in the day. They just think it's going to be those 30 years ago Mexican-type prices here. Some things it is, some things it isn't. But the fact is, if you don't change your life or your lifestyle, it is not going to be cheaper. I live a cheap life here. Whatever. I'm sorry, maybe if you can't, but I can. So it still works for me. But I'm just saying, you're not going to replicate the life you're living in, let's say, in the United States and bring it down here. It's not going to work. Number 4 isn't really so much of a myth. I think it's a mindset and a conditioning over time. And that's about cars. Usually the debate on the internet is, should I ship my car down here or should I buy one when I get to Costa Rica? That's usually what everybody's thinking. Well, I would make a case that you don't even need a car here. I'll bet you technically 80% of you don't need a car if you move to Costa Rica. You think you need a car, and you'll say you need a car, and you can kind of say, well, but how am I going to get the lumber that I need to make my, project here if I don't have a truck or whatever? Yes, I'm not fighting. If you want a car, get a car. I'm not saying that, but I'm kind of speaking to you people that might be, you don't have a whole lot of money. You're coming here trying to make it work. Don't worry, you don't need a car. They're getting Uber's actually here in Fortuna. We got a couple cars of Uber. You got the gringos that have cars love going in a big group down to San Jose. They get all their gas paid for. I would caution you not to be that dick expat that calls up the guy with the car and says, hey man, you want to go to a party Friday night? Can you drive? Don't be that guy. So there's just a lot of ways you can rent a car when you need it. But to have a car down here can be quite expensive. I'm not going to get into it here, but they got what's called Marchamo, Retevi, the maintenance, gas is more expensive, or all these things. So there are definitely a lot of other options without getting a car. But again, hey man, you want to get a car, get a car. I haven't had one for 14 years. I do a lot of biking, a lot of walking. I like to keep it simple. Now I should be, transparent. Not all that time I could even afford a car. So it wasn't an option. There have been times that I've lived down here that I can get a car, but I haven't. I could get one now. I'm not going to. I don't. It doesn't even. But anyway, the fact is you don't necessarily need a car here. I got a couple honorable mentions. It's not really a myth, I guess, but just don't think that you had a great vacation down here, that segues into living down here. I can't tell you how many people had such a great time here, which almost everybody does, and they romanticize living here. There's really almost zero correlation on that. So get rid of that. You have to do a lot more deep diving homework to know if Costa Rica is going to be a fit for you. Couple other ones. Gringos are not your friends. I know you think, oh, gringos are your friends because they're from where you are. They are not. And don't really think that moving down to Costa Rica is really going to... A lot of people go, I'm tired of the president, or I don't like the politics, I want to move down there. I want to change my life or whatever. You got to change yourself before you really kind of get down here, I think. If you can't be escaping something. The myth would be like kind of along the lines of making it romantic down here, that you're going to, a simple life. You have to be ready for that. You just can't, oh, I don't like the president, I'm going to move to Costa Rica. Well, good luck with that. Anyway, guys, those are just some of the things to consider, think about. I would be very interested in your comments on this. You add some of your own, because there's a lot more. I was just kind of hitting some of the bigger ones, I think. Again, I'd love for you to subscribe. I would love for you to ring whatever fucking bell they talk about on this thing. I guess it notifies you when I put out a video. But actually, what I'd like you to do, man, let's start a GoFundMe and get me a car. Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Allen, travelcostaricanow.com. Peace, guys. Hope it helps.